And our top story is the special coverage of Anzac Day after thousands of Australians have gathered to remember the fallen on the 107th anniversary of the landing at Anzac Cove in Gallipoli. First to Matt Cunningham in Darwin, where the Prime Minister has spoken just a short time ago. Matt, good morning to you. Both major parties are on the campaign trail there today.
That's right, Pete. The Prime Minister has just addressed the crowd here at the Dawn Service in Darwin, as has the Labor Deputy Leader Richard Marles. The Prime Minister talking about the times that we're living in at the moment, specifically the war in Ukraine and how that really hits home the importance of this day. Here's a bit of what the Prime Minister had to say just a short time ago.
General Jim Molan, our colleague in the Parliament, who said it takes a nation to defend a nation. And what ultimately matters in that task is a people with a fierce and protective love of their nation and of their liberty, a love of home, family, community and country, a willingness to live for all of these things, but if necessary to sacrifice for something far greater than ourselves. This morning, far away from here, the people of Ukraine are doing exactly that.
Pete, there will be something of a halt in hostilities on the campaign trail today as the leaders stop to mark Anzac Day. However, some of those issues around defence and security in this country are still on the agenda. Some interesting developments on that front today. The White House issuing a statement in regards to what's happening with the Solomon Islands and China and the pact, the security pact between those countries. In that statement, the White House says that it would have significant concerns and respond accordingly if China were allowed to establish a military presence in this region. Scott Morrison also quoted in the Australian newspaper today saying that we won't be having Chinese military naval bases in our region on our doorstep. As we've been reminded here this morning, Pete, of course, this is the place where war came to Australia's shores 80 years ago when Darwin was bombed by the Japanese. And an interesting time at the moment in this area as well with what's going on with China and the Solomon Islands. Those issues sure to be front and centre over the next few days as the Prime Minister campaigns here in the top end, as does Labor's Deputy Leader Richard Marles.
He served our country despite the racism and discrimination endemic of those times. It's easy to love a country that loves you, much harder if you haven't been loved in return.
That was the Prime Minister speaking about Lance Corporal Frederick Pennis, who was an Aboriginal man who enlisted to serve his country during the First World War. In fact, he was told that he wasn't allowed to serve because of his race, but he ended up defending his country and served bravely on the front line. The Prime Minister noting how much times have changed and paying tribute to Frederick Pennis here at this Dawn service this morning.
Matt Cunningham live for us from Darwin this morning.